What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me today on this lovely Friday afternoon. Friday. Quarantine Friday, coronavirus virus, COVID-19 Friday. I don't know what to call it anymore, man. I'm going crazy up in the house. But hey, once again, I am Jose V. This is Straight Bet Sports brought to you by VegasSportsDaily.com. Want to give a big shout out to Mike Dixon out there for watching, helping me out, hooking us up, getting this set up. Thank you so much. I'm coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada, out here at my home little office. Just got everything set up so we can bring you guys this live video today. Should be a fun one that we got on tap for you guys. I'm going to be talking to former UNLV Runnin Rebel, Noah Robotham. For those of you that want to watch as well, we are streaming this live on Twitter at Jose_Volonte is my tag, as you can see right there with my name. If you guys want to check out my Twitter feed. Not only that, if you missed this and you don't watch it live today and you're watching this later on the pre-recorded, or you want to check it out later and tell your friends about it, check out my YouTube page as well. Easy, Jose V Vegas Sports Daily. You cannot miss it. You will find it. You can find it. It's not that hard. Trust me, people. Go ahead and check that out. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've been going crazy sitting at home, being here bored, not knowing what to do, just going crazy out of my mind. And I'm to the point where I need to come up with new things and new content and try to figure out what it is that we can do to bring some stuff to you guys. Now, if you haven't checked out Vegas Sports Daily lately, go ahead and check out VegasSportsDaily.com. We have a lot of stuff going on there for the draft, anything to do with boxing, with MMA, with Runnin Rebels basketball, with Rebels football, with the Vegas Golden Knights hockey, Las Vegas Lights, anything that is sports related, whether it's in Las Vegas or not, you can definitely check it out there. Now, like I said, we are going to try to get Noah Robotham on the line here shortly, former UNLV Runnin Rebel. Going to try to get his thoughts just to see what's been going on with him lately, how everything has been with him outside of basketball since his college career ended a few years ago here in Las Vegas with the Runnin Rebels. I just wanted to catch up with him and see what it is that he's doing to keep occupied and not be bored during this time. You know, some of us are playing video games. Some of us are watching movies. Some of us are hanging out with family. Some of us don't even want to hang out with family because we're already bored and tired of it. It is what it is, man. It's cool. But at the end of the day, we're being robbed right now. Think about it. Think about it. This virus has robbed us from so much. This coronavirus has taken away so much from us. It's like a thief in the night. Literally came, stole something precious from us. If you're a sports fan and you're watching this, then definitely sports was taken from you. Something was taken from you that you love with all your heart, with all your might. I love sports in general. And there's just so much going on right now that it's tough that we can't really talk about sports because everything is shut down. When will sports come back? Will it come back? How is it going to come back? How long will it take for it to come back? That's the biggest question. Now, before we get Noah on the line, I just want to talk to you guys a bit about my thoughts about the coronavirus and what's going on here. But it's tough. It's very complicated because at this point, what do we watch? I'm watching reruns of NBA Finals games. I'm watching reruns of the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm watching games that were around before I was even born. I have a buddy of mine that texted me the other day and goes, man, I'm at work and I'm getting paid to be here and I'm doing nothing. And you know what I'm being paid for? I'm watching YouTube and I'm watching fights and I'm watching boxing fights and I'm judging these fights as I go. That's how bored I am. That's what my buddy tells me. So I don't know what you guys are coming up with or what it is that you guys are trying to do, but I hope that you guys are staying safe. I hope that you guys are staying inside because one thing that I keep seeing that I don't understand, people, is way too many people are outside for non-essential things. Sorry, guys, just reaching out to Noah there. Want to make sure that he knows that we are live. I sent him the link here. We're going to try to get him on here shortly. But in general, like, what has it done to your overall life? Like, some people are going to cell phone stores asking for help with Facebook, with WhatsApp, with things that have nothing to do with your social life. When I mean by that, I mean the essential part of it. Call customer care, dial 611. Why are you guys risking yourself to go out to the stores? Not only that, some of these people are wearing gloves. Some of these people are wearing masks. But let me ask you a question. When you go to the store and you're wearing gloves, what are you grabbing? Right? What are you grabbing? You're grabbing everything around you. right? That's exactly what's going on. So be careful, guys. Be smart. Wash your hands. If you wear gloves, throw them out when you're done. Don't throw them out on the street like a bunch of people are doing out there. That's not cool. But once again, I am Jose V. This is Straight Bet Sports brought to you by Vegas Sports Daily. We do have Noah Robotham on the line. We're going to go ahead and add him here on the live chat here. Noah, my man, thank you so much for joining me, man. I appreciate you.
Of course, of course. Anytime, Jose. Appreciate you having me on. Looking forward to this conversation.
You're kind of breaking up there. I'm not sure if it's your internet or your Bluetooth connection there, but it was a bit choppy. But I just want to say, man, we do appreciate you jumping on with us just a little bit. It's been a while since we've seen you anywhere when it comes to media or sports media in general. Ever since your UNLV playing career did end there. I'm not sure. Can you still hear me, Noah?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, perfect. There we go. I get
it. Cool.
All right, man. All right, perfect. So yeah, man, I just wanted to chop it up with you, talk and get your thoughts on everything that's going on with the coronavirus. But as well, just kind of take a stroll down memory lane per se. I want to talk about your experiences at Akron for people that didn't know how that went for you. Your overall experience with the transfer portal, and what I mean by that, not the process, not the paperwork, not the people you had to talk to, but you yourself emotionally, with your family. How does that take a toll on you? And in general, why did you choose to come back to UNLV? Just want to get your thoughts on a whole bunch of things. But before we get started, how are you doing? How are you and your family surviving from all this that's going on right now?
Yeah, everyone's doing. We're doing pretty well. Everyone's healthy. It's just obviously a weird time in the world. I think the best thing you could do is just kind of follow the protocols. Wash your hands, 6 feet, all the basics that kind of everyone's doing. But it's just those little things I think will go a long way. But myself and my family are doing really well. Personally, I don't know anybody like close family that has has got the virus yet. So I mean, still tough watching the news, but I think we've done a really good job of just staying inside, only leaving for essential. So other than that, it's been pretty good.
How tough has it for you knowing that there's no sports around and the only thing that you can watch right now is basically reruns? You yourself being a college athlete or an athlete in general, what are you doing to keep yourself in tune with the sports world still?
To be honest, if I get bored, I'll watch highlights. I'm not too much of a fan of like watching a replay. Maybe Kobe Bryant. I'll watch like a Laker replay. But as far as like a game from you know, I saw a couple of baseball game reruns. Like not necessarily. I wouldn't be too inclined to watch shows. But anything basketball wise, uh, more so the Lakers. I think I'll watch. But other than that, if I really have like a sports um, kick, I'll just watch highlights on one of my favorite players or something like that.
So do you ever watch any of your old games, whether it's the Boise State game, whether it's any of the San Diego State games? I mean, do you ever honestly just sit back and watch and go, man, like not to toot your own horn, but sit there and watch your game and your highlight and go, I had a pretty good night that night. I was on point.
Just in general or at a time right now?
Not just in general, like in your overall career in your life. Have you ever watched your highlights or watched any of your games and just said to yourself, man, I was really good that night?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't necessarily have the approach if I was really good that night. I think anytime I would find myself in a slump or I wasn't playing the way that I know I'm able to play, I think I kind of would revert to watching those games to kind of get some confidence back. Because at the end of the day, basketball is really all about just being confident and being comfortable out there on the court. So anytime I found myself having a slump, then I could catch myself watching one of my games, or I could go back to watching a game from high school, because you got to remind yourself, the type of player that you are. Missing shots or turning the ball over. Those are tough things to kind of deal with. So any way that you kind of recalibrate and be in that frame of mind where you remember what type of player you are, so you could get a little bit of confidence back. Uh, Definitely a big proponent for that.
And like you said, still watching sports or watching old games and clips of stuff like that. Now, are you excited about the 30 for 30 that's coming out, the Michael Jordan special that everybody's hyped up about? Is that something that you're going to basically put on your calendar and get ready to watch here?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, Sunday 6 p.m. I already know what time. Definitely looking forward to that. I think. I mean, I'm 23 years old. I was born in 1996, so I think a lot of people, maybe my age, didn't grow up on Michael Jordan. So, LeBron is the guy, of course, but
Got it.
I think the kids that I would say, from like 12 to ages 12 to 25, maybe that didn't grow up watching Michael Jordan are going to see how unbelievable he is. And, you hear the stories and, there's a reason why people call him the GOAT. And I think on Sunday night is just going to push that narrative a little bit more.
And we're on the conversation about GOATs. I'm glad you brought it up. So I'm 36. I'm a little bit older than you, just a smidge, but I was able to watch Jordan in his prime, LeBron in his prime, and Kobe in his prime. To me, people call me crazy, but you see the flag behind me. I'm a Laker fan. Kobe, to me, is the greatest of all time. No disrespect to anybody else. What LeBron is doing is pretty crazy right now. But have you emulated? Have you ever tried to emulate your game from a GOAT that you might have watched, or maybe someone you weren't around to watch, but you've learned something from watching videos?
Yeah, I think you'd be a fool not to try to pick a little bit something out of everybody's game. Personally, I agree with you. I think Kobe Bryant is the GOAT. But then again, like I said, I was born in 1996, so
Got it.
that's the year that Kobe came to the league. I think I probably got into basketball, heavily probably in 2000, 2001. I was 4 and 5. That was right around the time the Lakers were peaking. So I probably have a bit of an impaired judgment. But when it comes to Kobe, he's my favorite player of all time, so of course I'm gonna call him the GOAT. As far as players I take from, I love watching all types of point guards. Obviously, Steve Nash. Steve Nash is one of my favorite players of all time. Steph Curry is one of my favorite players of all time. I think basically those two would be guys I would emulate my game after. But guys I like to watch, I like all the guards. Off the top of my head, I love Damian Lillard's game. I love Trae Young's game. I like D'Angelo Russell's game. I really think that you could find a little bit something from everybody's game. I love the way Rondo passes. I mean, you could find a little something from every single basketball player out there and, add that to your game.
You being a point guard and being a leader on the teams that you were on, is there any player in the NBA? Because you just mentioned a lot of good guards and a lot of players in general. Is there any one player in the NBA that you've looked on and that you followed and said, he's very underrated and not too many people talk about and should be getting more respect?
Yeah, anytime I hear the word underrated, I think you got to throw Drew Holiday's name in there. He plays both sides of the court. He's one of the best players to ever come out of, California. And California, I think, has the most guys in the NBA. So I think he's definitely an underrated player just because his ability to, play offense and play defense. He does that at a high level. I think he's more of a reserve guy. He kind of doesn't, he's not a self-proclaimed superstar. But, I mean, if you really look into his numbers and just kind of watch his impact on a game, he's one of those players I would say is pretty underrated and a guy I really like to enjoy watching.
Conversation about guards. Recently, Caleb Grill, Iowa State transfer, coming to UNLV, the new guard that they're going to have out here. I don't know if you followed him or if you watched any of his film. Was only a freshman last year. He's coming out here. Might have to sit out like you did the one year when you left Akron to come out here. If he doesn't have to sit out and he gets that opportunity to play right away, what type of advice do you give to that type of individual that's coming through the transfer portal right now, something you've been through yourself? And how was your experience in general? Like I said earlier, not the paperwork, not the people you have to talk to. You mentally, physically, emotionally, what type of toll does that take on you?
Yeah, so at the time that I chose to transfer from Akron, it was kind of a difficult time. We had just lost to UT Arlington in like the second or third round NIT. I don't remember off the top of my head, but we were in Dallas at the time, so I flew from Dallas to Vegas, and we were on spring break. And I remember seeing that my coach had my former coach, Coach Dan Brutt, left Akron to go to Duquesne. So right there, it just kind of put you in a tough position because I was in the rare circumstance where, I probably had 5 or 6 classes left to finish for me to become a grad transfer. And if I had a really good relationship with the president at the University of Akron. So if I really wanted to, I probably could have found a way, to finish those 6 classes. So I could have, been a grad transfer, but it was kind of just a difficult time because there's just a lot of unknowns. My coach left during, break a time in my life where, you're supposed to have fun, spring break. I was a junior at the time and just kind of coming home and unwinding, being with my family. But it was kind of a time, it wasn't a time of panic, but just more so uncertainty. And, obviously that comes with its own set of problems. But at the end of the day, it kind of worked out for the best. And any advice I would tell anybody is just, you got to do what's best for you and your family. Go to a school that you can see yourself enjoying. Talk to the players there. Talk to the coaches. Get a good understanding of what you're going to do. My situation was a lot different because I was already 3 years in. Uh, I don't know Caleb personally, but like you said, he was only a freshman, so he kind of had the short stint there. So just a little bit of different circumstances. But I would say to anybody that's transferring, just make sure you have a good rapport with your teammates, kind of get familiar with everything that's going on, learn about the city, learn about everything because you're spending three or 4 years of your life at a certain place. You got to make sure it's the right fit.
So talk to me about the decision to choose Akron over colleges that came after you and recruited you. I mean, you played at Bishop Gorman, from what
Hmm.
I believe, over 100 plus wins, number one guy there. I mean, you were a baller. Let's be real, not
Hmm.
sugarcoating it, just being real. You also had an offer from UNLV, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. What triggered you to say, you know what, I'm going to go to Akron? What was it about Akron in general that you said, you know what, this is where I want to go to college and play ball?
Yeah, so the situation why I went to Akron, basically, it was late in my senior year, I believe maybe April, and I think me and my dad or both my parents, we were just kind of driving around, and I just had a gut feeling, I think this is a place I want to go. When I went on my visit, it was a place where I felt like they prioritized me. I didn't have a UNLV offer, but I did have my final three was UNLV, Boston College, and Oregon State. And the other two are obviously Power Five schools, but the situation just they're strange. For example, Oregon State, Craig Robinson offered me, who is former President Obama's brother-in-law.
Yes, yes. Hmm.
So he offered me, and then you kind of hear like the rumblings of him potentially getting fired. So he ends up getting fired, and then Coach Tinkle, who was at Montana, I believe, before Oregon State, goes to Oregon State, and Montana offered me. So he's like, if you still want to come to Oregon State, that offer's still alive. It was one of those things. And then Boston College, I got offered by Ohio University, who at the time the coach was Jim Christian, and at
Okay.
Boston College the coach was Steve Donahue. Steve Donahue got fired, and then Jim Christian from Ohio, where I had the offer from, goes to Boston College. So it was like it was just
So scenarios all over the place,
there's a
basically,
lot
at
of
that point.
scenarios. So basically, I went with the place that had the most stability. Coach Dambrot had been at Akron for probably 10 plus years. He's 6 or 7 years of 20 plus wins, and I knew that going to college was I would have to get acclimated. But there's one thing I didn't want to get acclimated to, and that was like winning, losing, that type of thing. I won at Bishop Gorman. I won in middle school. I won in AAU. It's just a
You're used
feeling.
to winning, that's all.
Excuse me?
You're used to winning. That's what it is. You're used to
Right.
winning.
Exactly. So it was just a situation where I wanted to ease myself in a situation. I didn't want to be in a situation where I was losing, because once you lose, tempers flare, relationships kind of get severed. It's just a lot of bad things going on. So I went to a place where I felt prioritized me, a place that won, and a place that had a good tradition.
I am Jose V. He is no Robotham, former UNLV Runnin Rebel, hanging out with us here on Straight Bet Sports, brought to you by Vegas Sports Daily. So another question that I do have for you that's been asked to me numerous times, because I have a lot of UNLV Runnin Rebel fans
Mhm.
and fans of yourself as well. They want to know, what has Noah Robotham done since his UNLV days? It's only been a year and a half separated here, but what have you done since then, away from your basketball days?
Yeah, so basically, when I got done with UNLV, I started training at Impact. I did the whole pre-draft thing. I signed with an agent, someone that um, I got in touch with someone back when it's hard to explain, but I met someone in Akron, and he ended up knowing someone who was an agent. So I decided to go with him. Just like I said, I'm a big person on, just being comfortable, being in the right situation, being with someone that prioritizes you. Signed with an agent. He offered me a lot of different things. I got the G League offer early. He said I could put my name in the G League draft, but with that, so many uncertainties. Um, and then I got offered to play some places overseas. I just didn't. I didn't love it. To be honest with you, um, I just he gave it to me. I just was. It's not that I wasn't a fan. I just knew that if I'm going so far away, the situation has to be pretty good for me in order to stay. Like I said, I'm only at the time I was only 22. I'm only 23 now. So basically, kind of just been doing that. I'm still with this agent, but I've kind of been working on getting my dual citizenship from Spain. My great grandparents are from Spain, and my grandma and everyone. So I think
Okay.
once I handle that, and when this coronavirus kind of uh, dies down, hopefully, That's right. I could probably see myself playing within the next 5. Where are we now? April, so probably in 4 or 5 months.
Okay, so you're looking on playing overseas sometime in Spain, you're saying.
Absolutely,
Have
absolutely.
you have you spoken to any teams out there in any leagues, or has anybody reached out to you so far?
Well, they have talked to my agent.
Okay.
Kind of has been the liaison, for lack of a better word, to kind
Okay.
of work that out. Uh, but I think once you get your dual citizenship, it's a lot easier because technically I'm not an American citizen anymore. I'm a Spanish citizen. So
Okay.
if you go over there and maybe 2 or 3 American guys going to be on a team, I don't count for that. So which
Okay.
helps. You got to imagine it's just like if there's 20 jobs available, 2 of them are very competitive. It's easier to be one of those 18 people. Now it just makes my job a little bit easier. It probably gets you in a better league. It gets your pay better. There's a lot of different stuff going on, but yeah, that was kind of it was just my decision. I had the places early on. Like I signed with my agent, I believe in May, and I just, I just didn't love it. It just didn't seem like a right fit to me. Certain places. In hindsight, it's kind of 2020. One of the places was Italy, and I think that's probably one of the places got hit by the corona the worst.
Yeah.
And at the time, those times in January and February, you think to yourself, like, did I make the wrong decision? Should I have just gone? I think times like this kind of give you better clarity. So I'm looking forward. Like I said, I'm only 23. I think I'm healthy. I have a lot of basketball left. And if not, I have an economics degree. If I wanted to get into coaching, I believe I'd get into coaching. I actually was offered a GA position at Arizona if I wanted.
Okay.
So I'm not in a rush.
You're young, man. You said you're
Yeah,
23 years old. You got your whole life to live. I mean, you got a lot still going on. I totally get it. I
yeah.
totally understand.
So yeah, that's basically been my year. Just a lot of training, still in the gym, still staying consistent. Um, so that's kind of my thing. I just kind of took this year to get better. I feel like I've gotten a lot better. So I'm looking forward to kind of getting out there and playing again.
So knowing that you still want to play and you feel in your heart that you're gonna play and it sounds like you're gonna go overseas, doesn't it kind of worry you a bit that your career is gonna or can be put right now kind of at a standstill because of what's going on with the coronavirus? Like you want to go overseas. That's not a possibility right now because of everything that's going on. And obviously there's no leagues being played. But once that reopens up, when it does, doesn't it worry you on how fast exactly can you get back into playing with other guys on the court or working out with other people in the gym? Doesn't it worry you on how long that's going to take eventually just for you to get back into real playing shape and being with people out on the court?
Yeah, definitely. That raises a good point. But I've dealt with a lot of different situations in my life, and I think the best thing I learned is you can only control things that you can control. Um, when things start to open up again, and groups larger than 10, or I don't know exactly the specifics of how many people can be at a certain place at a time, but I know gyms and obviously, sweating and being around people is not what's going on right
It's
now.
tough.
But I definitely, I can't control that stuff. All I can control is, me being prepared. So what I can do now is, I could stay fit. I could do my running. I could lift. I have some stuff here where, I could continue to get stronger. But as far as like basketball and getting in the gym, getting shots up, it's just something that, you can't do right now. But I can't stress on things that I can't control. Eventually, you got to think that this thing will clear up. And if not, I got to just continue to do what I'm doing. And I got to have faith that, what will, that something good will be on the end of this road. You know what I mean? There'll be a light at the end of the tunnel. But as far as, stressing myself out or getting anxious about a situation, it's just something that in my life I've realized that it's not a good feeling, and it's not something that um, you know I'm going to stress my mind over.
So you talked about possibly coaching in the possible future. So let's say, for example, just metaphorically speaking, the basketball playing career, you decide, you know what, I'm not going to play ball no more. I want to get into coaching. Would you ever take the opportunity if UNLV randomly just reached out to you and said, hey, we want you on our staff, some way, shape, or form. We want you to talk to these guys. We want you to be part of this young nucleus to help us grow this team. Would that be something that would ever interest you down the road? Your hometown university, you played at Bishop Gorman, your backyard, and then being able to possibly create some type of culture here at UNLV?
Of course, I love UNLV. I love the opportunities it gave me. I have a. It's like I had a. It was just like you kind of just see that I was going to UNLV. It's weird now, but I always tell people I grew up. I went to Our Lady of Las Vegas my whole life. I started there in preschool. I went there to the 8th grade. I've kind of had the same group of friends since I was 4 or 5 years old. And one of my friends was Alex Tarkanian, um, who's obviously he's George's son and he's Jerry's nephew. So I love UNLV. And like I said, when I was younger, I used to go to the games. I used to not even know the magnitude of the games. I remember, going before the games, going to eat, and then sitting courtside at a game. It just kind of seemed like it was an event you'd go with to your friend. It's like going to Chuck E. Cheese with your buddy. You don't know what you're really doing until you get a little bit older to learn the magnitude
Yeah.
of it. But when I got a little bit older and I kind of started to figure out, the tradition of UNLV, it's a place that, I hold near and dear to my heart. It gave me great opportunities. I met a lot of great people. I love my coaches that I had there, my teammates I'm still friends with, the professors. I got an economic degree from a great university. There's a lot of things I love about UNLV. Would I coach there? I definitely think I would. It has to be like the right situation, obviously, just because it's home and it's something that's familiar. Um, I wouldn't just jump at the bit for it, but if the situation is right and there's a good head coach there at the time, someone I could learn from, and kind of the infrastructure is there in order for me to succeed, I think it was something I'd definitely be interested in.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your Bishop Gorman days. I mean, they weren't that far, they're not that long away,
Mhm.
but how much fun was that? Because from everything that I read, everything that I saw, everything I've ever watched, you were the guy. You were the man at Bishop Gorman at that time. More wins than any other player. You were on the varsity team all 4 years. You started your last 3 years. What do you remember most about your high school days, and what do you continue to take with you as you continue to be an adult?
Yeah, so I went to high school in 2010, I believe was my first year of high school. But my brother graduated in 2009, and it's funny. I went to Bishop Gorman. The basketball team was great, but I really went, because of education. I'm Catholic. My mom wanted me to go to the Catholic school. I'm 99% sure Bishop Gorman is the only Catholic school in Las Vegas. Like I'm 99% sure. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't think there's
So,
any other ones.
yeah, I'm thinking of like some of the private schools like Meadows and stuff. They're not Catholic, but yeah. So basically, I went because it was a Catholic school, and I just kind of went at the right time. My brother had graduated 2 years before I got there because he graduated in 2009, and then Jonathan Lloyd, who's like an older brother to me, who played at Oregon basketball, played football there. He had just graduated as well in 2010, so it kind of just fit for me to go there and gave me an opportunity to get to play on varsity. Obviously, I had to work very hard, but I'm a summer baby, so I started school early. So when I went to Gorman, I was only 14 years old,
Okay.
and I was working out with the team. I'm June 30th, so I was working out with the team like in April when I finished at Our Lady. So I was 13 at the time, and like that adjustment, I can't even like tell you how hard that adjustment was. Obviously, just you got. I'm playing against guys like Shabazz and
Shabazz Muhammad, yeah.
Bobby Stanley, Demetrius Morant, Roscoe, Ben. Like there are so. I mean, these guys are 6'8", 6'9". A month before, I'm playing against guys literally like not trying to be funny. I was playing against guys that weren't penny loafers. You know what I mean? And now, like a month later, I'm playing against the top players in the country essentially. So
I
it
got
definitely took me to get acclimated to. Took some time, but my 4 years are great. My freshman year, we didn't win the state championship, and it's not even funny. But looking back on it, I learned a lot about myself at this time. I missed a game-winning shot against Bishop Minogue, um, and that shaped a lot of my life because I remember, I was upset and I was embarrassed. I didn't even want to go to school the next day because
Really?
yeah, because Gorman had that rich tradition. And, I'm only 14 years old at the time. I'm thinking it's the end of the world. I missed a shot.
Yeah.
Um, and I just remember I didn't want to go to school. I was just kind of upset. And, in a time like that, it was just a kind of difficult time. But I remember, sitting down talking to my dad, and he was like, just go to school. You just play it out. Like it is what it is. At the end of the day, you took the shot. Like, that kind of talks about the player that you are, that, you had enough confidence to take the shot. So when I look back, it was just kind of an important spot in my life. Then my sophomore year, we won state. My junior year, we won state. My senior year, we won state. And any time after that, if I had the opportunity to take a big shot, that's what I wanted to do, because I feel like I dealt with such. It's not really a low, you know what I mean? At the time, it was a low because I was so young, and it was the biggest thing at the time to win a state championship. And um, it's funny how life works. But yeah, in hindsight, Gorman was a great place. Met a lot of great friends. I think I was exposed to a lot of people that I wouldn't have been exposed to if I didn't go to a place like Gorman. Obviously, being a good basketball player works because more people kind of get to know who you are, and you kind of meet people that necessarily you might not meet if you're just a regular student. But I love Gorman. It's a great place. It has a great tradition. I'm still really close with my coaches now, my teammates. I'm still best friends with, but it was a great place. And when I look back on my Gorman days, I have great memories.
No, a couple more things before I let you go. One thing that you keep talking about that I love a lot is your faith. It sounds like you're a big, big, big man of faith. You've been in Catholic schools your whole life, like you said. How important has that been for you and your family? And I'm pretty sure your mom and your dad, your family instilled that in you. And how important has that been throughout your whole life, especially now that you're a lot older, you're not a kid anymore, you're still a young man, but you're an adult now. How important is your faith to you at this moment, especially with everything that's going on?
Yeah, I think on those tough days, it kind of just it gives you a subtle nudge to kind of just keep on pushing and keep on going forward. Um, I've had in my life, and maybe a test or a big game, you always have uncertainty, right? You don't know what the outcome will be. I think anytime you kind of have faith and kind of hone in that belief, it'll give you a little bit more confidence, a little bit more um, wherewithal to really lock in and be focused on what you're doing. And I think anytime I've reached a point in my life where I needed a little bit, like I said, I need a little gentle nudge to kind of push me in the right direction. I always look towards my faith, and it's been ingrained with me since I was, you know, since I can remember, 5, 6 years old. And I actually remember, obviously, you get baptized at 2 or 3, but you don't remember that process. But praying every day and just believing that there's something, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You live a good life. You try to treat people the right way. You try to have respect. You have dignity, just basic fundamental things that I believe, if you live life the right way, um, I think a lot of things kind of work in your favor. So yeah, I'm definitely a big faith guy. My mom's Catholic, my brother's Catholic, and if it, my mom just has always kind of instilled that in me and my brother, to have faith and believe in God and pray for things to happen. And I've done that my whole life, and a lot of things haven't gone my way, but I have a lot of great things that have gone my way, and I've lived a blessed life so far. And I think my faith is definitely the front runner for all that to be possible.
He is Noah Robotham. I am Jose V. Once again, this is Straight Bet Sports, brought to you by Vegas Sports Daily. So, Noah, the final topic that I do want to talk to you about today before I let you go, and like I said, once again, thank you so much for giving me your time today. I greatly appreciate that, is the UNLV Runnin Rebels. They have a new coach now, not the guy that was there when you were there, not Marvin. Marvin is long gone now. TJ is the new guy in town. He's got 1 year under his belt. He's got a winning season, obviously not the season everybody wanted to see, but he's got one season under his belt. Did you sit back and watch this season and analyze it? And if so, what are your thoughts on the new coach, his coaching style, and some of the players that he has brought in and that he's about to bring in for this upcoming season?
Yeah, so I didn't watch every game this year. I probably watched a third. Yeah, so if they played 30, I probably watched 9 or 10 games. I like what I saw. At first, I watched it as a fan, right? So I watched it as a fan. I watched my teammates from afar, right? How's Amari playing? How's Bryce playing? Does Mbake look more comfortable? What's Nick doing? What's Jay doing? Just guys that, I play with. How's Marv getting acclimated to, kind of playing bigger minutes? And then once I kind of got through that, I started watching more as from like an analytical standpoint and seeing like, okay, what's coach running? Then I started seeing they started to integrate, the 4 guard offense. That definitely helped. But yeah, I actually like what he's doing. Obviously, I love Coach Marv, but I love TJ too. I've met him probably 3 or 4 times. He's been nothing but gracious to me, been very respectful. And I have a lot of respect for him and what he's done before he got to UNLV. But I don't think that they're contingent on one another. I don't think that Marv's coaching has to be derailed by what TJ's doing. I don't think that what TJ's doing has to be a knock on what Marv didn't do. I don't think that they're kind of one and the same. They're two separate
Agree.
people. But I like what he's doing. I like the players that he's bringing in. I like his offense. If you look where he's been, he was successful at South Dakota State. He was successful at Iowa State. He played. You got to think about that Iowa State team was unbelievable. The guys that are on the team, Monte Morris on that team, George Niang, Bryce John Jones was on that team. There was Matt Thomas was on the team. There were a lot of NBA guys on that team. So it kind of proves to you that he knows how to run an offense, how to get guys involved. And he did it at Washington too. He had a lot of great players there, but I think you kind of just tell that he's a good coach. He has great offensive sets. What I like about him the most is he holds his guys accountable. I went back in July to kind of play some pickup with the guys because they didn't have a full team yet. They're probably 8 or 9 guys maybe. So
they called you, or you reached out to them, or
no, they called me. I had a prior relationship with Coach Kruger.
Okay.
I've known Kevin since. You got to remember, Lon was a coach when I was in the 6th grade, maybe 7th grade,
give or take. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Kevin Kruger is probably one of my favorite, Rebels of all time. And just kind of, through time, you get to meet people. And I had a relationship with him. And then obviously all the support staff was still the same. So yeah, they kind of just texted me, said they needed some help. And then myself, Ben Carter was there, Steven Zimmerman, Austin Starr, some of the former guys, Rene Rajal, Mike Moser played. So it was cool. But what I liked about the most about TJ at the time was he held the players accountable. And I think any time that you're striving to do something with any significance, you have to have a lot of discipline. And he definitely was, holding guys accountable. And I thought that was good. But I like what he's doing there. This was his first year. You got to remember the only players that he had were grad transfers. And that's tough to kind of get guys on the same page that have already been in college. You got to think, you've been in college for 3 years, 4 years maybe. You already have a point of view about college basketball. So it's kind of hard to change someone's reasoning or teach them how to play because it's their last year. They've already gone through ups and downs for 4 years. So trying to get someone to buy into the system, that's a hard thing to do. Granted, the players that they had there did a great job. I think it was Sheeble and Mitri Long was an unbelievable point guard this year. Johnny Tillman played good. But I think once we kind of see the players that coach brings in, I think it'll definitely work because he's gonna bring in guys that fit his system, do what he needs them to do. And if you just look at his track record, it's been successful. So I think you'd have to be under the optimism that's going to happen here as well.
You did mention Bryce. I know I said I was going to let you go soon, but I have to talk. I have to talk to you about Bryce. I was a big Bryce guy when he came here his freshman year. I really liked him. He's a California guy. I'm a California guy. He stepped up big last year. Obviously, he wasn't all first team selection, all that. I mean, the kid is a monster. Do you see him getting any better, or have we seen the best Bryce that we can see this season, you think?
No, we have definitely not seen the best Bryce. I think Bryce is either 18 or 19. Whatever it is, it's young.
I think he's 19.
So, I think he definitely – I honestly think he's only scratching the surface. Funny thing about Bryce, I used to play against his older brother, Blake. His brother, Blake, went to Buffalo. And, I've known about the Hamiltons for a long time. He played for Belmont Shore. In their games, you saw always be at Gorman. So anytime I was back in Vegas, I would go watch, AU tournaments at my high school, and I would always watch Bryce, and he'd be going for 40, 50, 60, whatever he was going for. But I definitely saw it coming. I think it's people have to realize that when you're a freshman, you have a short rope. For instance, I'm a senior. I proved that, I don't turn the ball over if you look at the numbers. So if I have back-to-back turnovers, my coach will keep me in the game. That's just the way it is, right? You gain that trust. They call it you gain equity. Someone like Bryce, if he plays for a short stint and, he's not doing something maybe unbelievable or maybe he misses shots back-to-back, you pull guys like that out because you don't know what to expect from someone like that. So now he got that year under his belt, and then Coach TJ, put a lot of confidence in him, gave him the ball, let him make those mistakes. You kind of see the best Bryce. So this is Bryce playing with confidence for, I think it was during conference play he really turned into a player that everyone thought he could be. So I think you kind of see that. So imagine now he gets 2 years of confidence under his belt. What's he going to look like next year? Playing with David, who was playing like that at South Dakota State, an unbelievable player, averaged 20 points and is familiar with Coach TJ's system. It's just that's how you got to look at it. It's a gradual process. And as a freshman, it's tough because, you go from scoring 40, 50 points to now you're in a less significant role. You're only playing spotty minutes. You miss a shot, you come out the game. It's a little bit tougher. But, as Bryce's confidence continues to improve, I think everything else will improve. His jumper is going to get better. He's going to be as efficient going right as he is going left. He's going to get stronger, faster, more athletic. I think I said it months ago. I forgot which game it was, but he's definitely, if I was a betting man, I would definitely bet that Bryce will win a Mountain West Player of the Year easily. I mean, he averaged 20 and he was 19 years old. Could you imagine what he's going to be when he's 21? If he's there that long, you never know.
Once again, he is Noah Robotham, former UNLV Runnin Rebel and local kid from Las Vegas. Once again, I do appreciate you coming on with me, giving me your time. Stay safe and stay healthy out there. But before I let you go ahead and let everybody out there know where they can find you on all things social media and what you got going on moving forward.
Yeah, so you guys can find me on Twitter at NoRobotham14, Instagram at N1_R4. I don't really go on Facebook that much, but obviously just my name. But yeah, just looking forward to whatever my future holds. Hopefully, it's years of a lot of basketball. I want to thank everyone that always supported me while I was at UNLV and during these tough times. Just remember, stay inside, wash your hands, only leave for essentials. But I think it's a good time to brush up on something, do something, learn Spanish, learn how to play chess, add something to your life. It's a time that I think we'll never get back, and it's something that we're all going through. So, reach out to others, see how other people are doing, and just continue to stay positive, and hopefully this thing will die down eventually. But yeah, other than that, just stay positive, and let's get through this tough time together.
He is Noah Robotham. Noah, thank you. I appreciate your time, and away from the media aspect, from one fan, from a UNLV fan, thank you for your time. I greatly appreciate you, man. Stay safe. We'll talk soon. All right, guys. Once again, that was Noah Robotham, former UNLV Runnin Rebel. I want to thank each and every one of you that was on here today and saw this podcast live from my home, from your car, wherever you may be. I greatly appreciate you guys. Just remember, stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. And if you don't got to go out of the house, don't go out of the house. Stay home. I don't know why you guys are leaving if you don't have to. Once again, I am Jose V. This is Straight Bet Sports, episode number 4, baby. We're adding it up, and we're going to keep going. Brought to you by VegasSportsDaily.com. I want to give a big shout-out to Mike Dixon. And before I forget, I know this show is almost over, and I said I was going to do it in the beginning of the show, and I did not. I want to give a big shout-out to my guy, Eric. As you can see, he hooked me up with a clean cut. Eric, I appreciate you keeping me clean through these tough times, through these quarantine and shutdowns. Appreciate you. Not going to give your full name or your address because we don't want to get you in trouble. Don't want Governor Sisolak coming after you. But once again, guys, I am Jose V. This is Straight Bet Sports. Once again, thank you so much for joining us today. We were joined by former UNLV Runnin Rebel Noah Robotham. Little bit of a quick teaser here. I have spoken to Caleb Grill, new UNLV Runnin Rebel, transfer from Iowa State. I was speaking to him throughout this interview. He was texting me earlier. We were topping it up, talking. He wants to join the video feed as well. So just so you guys know, if you're watching this and you want to watch and talk to the new UNLV Runnin Rebel transfer, Caleb Grill, coming from Iowa State, then tune in about, say, 45 minutes. We're looking to hop back on at 1:30 p.m. We will be live right here on Vegas Sports Daily's Facebook page and also on my Twitter page, Jose_Volonte. So until then, I'll talk to you guys in a few minutes. If you're not watching this live, then you're probably watching it on YouTube at Jose V, Vegas Sports Daily. And if not, if you want to check out my podcast and all of my audio, if you don't like watching the videos because you're too busy or you just don't like videos in general, check me out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or anywhere that you like to listen to your music. Once again, I am Jose V. This was Vegas Sports Daily's Straight Bet Sports, brought to you by none other than VegasSportsDaily.com. I'm out. Have a good one, everybody.